a great musician, a composer.
For decades, André Rieu has been more than a musician. He has been a quiet force shaping the emotional lives of millions. His violin doesn't just play melodies, it awakens memories, stirs emotions, and creates spaces where listeners can reconnect with feelings they may have long ignored. Born in a world that often undervalues emotional expression, André found a way to translate inner silence into symphonies that spoke louder than words ever could. His concerts, whether under the open skies of Maastricht or in grand halls abroad, became moments of shared humanity. Yet behind this public persona of grace and elegance, André faced a hidden struggle. In his 70s, he began grappling with a health condition that compromised his balance, turning each performance into a delicate negotiation between passion and survival. The charm audiences admired masked a relentless, private battle, a testament to his determination to keep music alive even when his body wavered. Childhood without warmth, André Leon. Marie-Nicole Leriot was born on October 1, 1949, in Maastricht, a quiet Dutch city still healing from the scars of war. Despite the picturesque surroundings, his family home was emotionally frigid. His father, a celebrated conductor, ruled with a stern discipline that left little room for affection. His mother maintained elegance and order but withheld warmth, believing in strict principles over tenderness. In a household of 6 children, silence dominated mealtimes, and expressions of comfort were rare. From the earliest years, André internalized a simple but harsh truth. Love in his home was absent. This lack of emotional connection carved an early sense of loneliness, shaping his worldview. While he craved approval and affection, he quickly learned to seek solace elsewhere, setting the stage for a lifelong relationship with music as a source of comfort and belonging. Music would become his sanctuary, a space where he could find the warmth he never received at home, a violin as companion. At the age of 6, André picked up a violin that dwarfed his small frame. The instrument quickly became more than a tool. It became a friend. When he played, he felt a heartbeat that was uniquely his own, a rhythm that filled the coldness around him. The bow in his hands was not just a piece of wood and horsehair. It was a vessel for expression, a companion that never judged, corrected, or withheld love. While his parents adhered to strict routines and silent discipline, André found solace in the vibrating strings and the melody that resonated through his body. Music became the first experience of safety and warmth in his life. Even as his small fingers stung from practice, he persisted, driven not by ambition but by the deep need for connection and comfort. The violin became a lifeline, a partner that allowed him to exist in a world that often felt unwelcoming. Early lessons in discipline. André's formative years were defined not only by emotional absence but also by the unyielding pursuit of perfection. The silence of his home, combined with his father's exacting standards, instilled a sense of discipline that would shape him profoundly. By the time he was sent to the Royal Conservatory of Brussels during his teenage years, he had already internalized the notion that approval was rare and perfection was demanded. The conservatory was a reflection of his childhood, cold, structured, and unforgiving. Teachers prioritized technical mastery over emotional expression, mirroring the environment André had known at home. Yet, within this rigid world, a subtle rebellion began to emerge. André longed for music that was felt, not merely performed. His early struggles taught him resilience, patience, and a rare understanding of the difference between external applause and genuine emotional connection. This duality of discipline and emotional hunger would inform every decision he made in his career, dreaming beyond perfection. While others sought recognition for talent, André's vision extended beyond conventional success. He dreamed of an orchestra that could celebrate life, not just execute flawless performances. Mocked for this idealism, he refused to abandon it. From a young age, André realized that his purpose was not personal fame, but the creation of joy and warmth for others. His experiences of coldness at home and strictness in training had taught him that life could feel empty, even amidst achievement. Therefore, his music became a mission, to make audiences feel alive, connected, and comforted. This dream of emotional resonance rather than technical perfection became the foundation for his later ventures. By learning to nurture warmth where none existed, André developed an artistic philosophy rooted in empathy and human connection, a principle that would guide him through decades of professional challenges. The birth of Maastricht Salon Orchestra. In 1978, André took a bold leap, defying familial expectations and societal norms. With minimal resources, he gathered musicians who shared his belief that music should breathe, laugh, and heal. Their modest performances, held in drafty halls and town squares, were far from glamorous, yet they resonated deeply with audiences. People lingered, absorbed not just by the sound but by the shared human experience that André created. These early concerts revealed a transformative power. Music could fill spaces of emptiness and provide a sense of community. In Marjorie, André found both anchor and inspiration. Her unwavering faith gave him courage when doubt threatened to halt his ambitions. The Maastricht Salon Orchestra was more than a musical ensemble. It was the first tangible step toward a lifelong mission to make classical music emotionally accessible. Struggles and triumphs. The formation of the Johann Strauss Orchestra in 1987 was a daring continuation of André's vision. Critics dismissed him, financial challenges mounted, and the early years were marked by uncertainty. André worked tirelessly, often prioritizing his musicians' welfare over his own, borrowing and repaying to keep the dream alive. Nights of exhaustion, cold stages, and unpaid debts were part of the journey. Yet with every setback, André's resolve strengthened. He understood that his purpose was to cultivate joy and warmth, not merely achieve financial or public success. The dedication and persistence eventually paid off, culminating in transformative performances like the 1995 UEFA Champions League concert, where his music captured global attention. Still, the triumphs carried a hidden cost, demanding physical and emotional endurance few could imagine. Behind the curtain, global fame brought admiration and applause, but it also introduced immense pressure. André was no longer just a musician. He was the conductor, producer, financier, and caretaker of an entire enterprise. Hundreds of lives depended on his management and decisions. The weight of responsibility often manifested as exhaustion, dizzy spells, and relentless anxiety. Despite outward appearances of poise, backstage reality was grueling. Concerts, tours, and financial risks demanded constant vigilance. André carried these burdens silently, ensuring the music and the livelihoods of his team remained intact. This duality of public triumph and private struggle illustrates the human cost behind artistic achievement, highlighting André's unwavering dedication to sustaining not only his music, but the people who relied on it. A silence that shook him. The pandemic brought an unprecedented stillness, halting concerts and freezing life in place. For André, this was more than lost performance opportunities. It was a confrontation with purpose and identity. The quiet allowed him to face fears he had long ignored. The fragility of life, the vulnerability of those dependent on him, and the inevitability of aging. Months of solitude tested his resilience as he maintained salaries and cared for his team while watching finances decline. Personal sacrifices, like considering the sale of treasured instruments, highlighted the emotional gravity of his choices. In this forced pause, André understood that silence was not emptiness. It was a mirror reflecting the essence of his life, both fragile and extraordinary. The battle with the body. In his later years, André faced the cruel reality of his body betraying him. An inner ear illness disrupted his balance, transforming even the most routine performance into a precarious endeavor. Dizzy spells, fractured vision, and trembling knees became daily challenges. Yet André's commitment to his art never faltered. He found ways to adapt, pushing through pain while maintaining the integrity of his music. The audience rarely perceived this struggle, witnessing only the grace of his performances. André's perseverance illustrates a profound truth. Passion often requires negotiating with limitations. Each note played became not only an artistic statement, but a declaration of resilience, courage, and loyalty to the music he had devoted his life to. Loss and resilience. Tragedy struck repeatedly, testing André's spirit. The loss of his close friend and trombonist Rudy Moores during a tour left him grappling with grief that could not be articulated in words. Each performance thereafter included subtle moments of silence, unannounced tributes that reflected the weight of personal loss. Later incidents, such as his collapse on stage in 2024, brought physical vulnerability into sharp relief. Even as he faced the terrifying possibility that his music could end, André chose to rise again. Recovery was painstaking, demanding patience, humility, and a reconnection with the very resilience he had cultivated since childhood. Each return to the stage became a victory of the human spirit over fragility, a reaffirmation of the purpose that had driven him for decades. The true legacy. André Rieu's life demonstrates that legacy is not measured in fame, fortune, or accolades. His true contribution lies in the warmth he created, the human connections fostered through his music, and the emotional comfort he offered to millions. He transformed classical performance into a shared experience of empathy, healing, and joy. Through decades of hardship, illness, and personal loss, André maintained an unwavering commitment to touch hearts. His impact transcends technical mastery. It is felt in the spaces between notes, in the quiet reverence of audiences, and in the lives softened by his dedication. The essence of his legacy is human, intimate, and enduring, a sanctuary of emotion constructed from a life shaped by both adversity and courage. A quiet peace. Now, in the twilight of his years, André has discovered a calm previously unknown. His mornings are serene, filled with soft light and reflective walks through gardens. Music remains a companion, though now it is played for introspection rather than performance. Marjorie, his family, and his granddaughter Daisy provide the continuity of care and connection that eluded his childhood. André's life illustrates that peace, like music, requires cultivation. It is not inherited, it is built through persistence, sacrifice, and a commitment to the values that matter most. In the quiet of his home, he experiences a joy that no applause could replicate, a reward earned through decades of devotion to others. Music as redemption, André Rieu's story is ultimately one of transformation. From a lonely child seeking comfort in silence to a world-renowned musician inspiring millions, he demonstrates the power of resilience and emotional generosity. His music became both a shield and a bridge, protecting him while connecting audiences to something transcendent. By embracing vulnerability, loss, and limitation, André discovered that legacy is measured not by grandeur, but by the subtle acts of care embedded in every note. In his waltzes, listeners find not just melody, but empathy, warmth, and forgiveness. Through adversity, illness, and aging, André has proven that music can be a lifeline, a form of human connection, and the ultimate redemption for a life that began in emotional deprivation.